All right. So, welcome back to the Nour Hadidi podcast. I almost did not record an episode this month. I was feeling very depressed. I was thinking of skipping, but I said, no, we're going to do it. We need the strength and resilience to power on. The reason I didn't want to do it was because of mental health. I reached a psychological breaking point, unfortunately, this week with the murder of the 5 Al Jazeera journalists. I unraveled as a person. I was crying and I was just in a really bad place. And so I didn't think that I had it in me to record, but I'm glad I made it because I think we have to carry on. We have to push. I want to provide a space for all of us who are going through this to heal, to just feel heard and seen and feel less alone. So if you've been going through a hard time, I'm so sorry. I'm right there with you. And hopefully this next hour will make us feel better. So I just want to say that off the top. We all have to keep finding new ways to stay strong and power through until this genocide is over. Yusuf is here, but he is not physically here. We're doing this thing where Yusuf is joining us live. He's very busy these days, Yusuf. He's like booked.
I feel like I'm a correspondent. Like I'm live here.
Al Jazeera live. We go now to our reporter in the field, Yusuf Zine. Yusuf, you are in the dangerous suburb of Scarborough. What are you seeing right now on the ground?
Hey, Nour, I'm live here in Scarborough, Ontario, one of the most dangerous places in the world. Mm-hmm. Really just getting a pulse on the ground to see what's going on and what people are thinking and feeling.
Yeah. And that's so important because of your ties to the community. I want to thank you for going back and representing where you came from, Yusuf. Okay, the bit's over. We did it as long as we could. Also, I love that you just have a podcast set up at home. Like it's in your blood. Look at this mic. Look at that.
Yeah, well, the last podcast I did, I recorded all from home.
You do other podcasts? Wait, what?
I do.
What?
I do.
How?
I'm the host, Nour.
How dare you, Yusuf?
I know.
Astaghfirullah. I know God said you could have 4 podcasts, but I really thought you'd be faithful to this one. I really did. I'm just naive millennial woman thinking that podcast monogamy still exists, but people are open, they're poly. Listen, my friend is poly. I had to go over. She cried. I had to go and soothe her because there was drama happening with the other girl the other girl that the guy she's dating is also dating. So,
is that right? This really happened?
Yeah. I went over to her house. I'm not gonna share a lot because I don't think she'd want me to share the drama, but I'll just say, who has the time to date more than one person? Who has the capacity? Who has the mental energy? I really don't understand it.
I don't have the time to even date one person.
Exactly. I have difficulty finding one person to date. I don't know how these people are fine. I meet one person every 7 years that I'm like, maybe you and I could date. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where do people find like 4 or 5?
You know what? We got to go on the poly apps. I think it's a date. It's called Field. It's an app, but it's for sexually adventurous people. And as like Muslims, you and I just think it's not for us. Do you know what I mean?
But I feel like all we get is like Muzz. You know,
we
get terrible. Something more interesting. Not like, I don't know.
Okay, so what is this other podcast that you did? Was it a comedy podcast? Was it a political one? What are we talking here?
No, I wrote, produced, and hosted 2 investigative podcasts for TVO.
Yeah, but that was previously, before you started this. So have you done any podcasts since you started
this one?
Am
I doing right now outside of it? I'm developing another one with TVO, and
Wow.
one with TVO, one is being shipped or pitched around,
Wow.
um,
Wait,
and then
what are
this.
the two podcasts you made so that people can go listen to them?
I don't need to. I feel like I want to
Oh,
promote.
okay. Sure.
Like we're here
Yeah.
for the Nour Hadidi podcast. I mean,
Okay, let me guess what the podcasts are. It's going to be The Life and Death of Jean-Benet Ramsey, a deep dive into who murdered that sweet little girl. So
one.
that's one. I think the second is the Taylor Swift podcast. I think you're a huge Taylor Swift fan, and so you did a deep dive on her discography and just her whole master's drama and what that meant and in terms of its influence on music. So I just want to thank you for pioneering those causes.
You must be a Taylor because you have me pinned. That's it.
Ooh.
You
No,
got it.
did you watch the New Heights episode with Taylor Swift announcing her new album? No, you didn't.
Heights.
It's okay. I called my friend Zach. My friend Zach and I were on FaceTime and we watched, it was a 2-hour podcast and we watched it together and I cried and I laughed and it was very healing for me. And you
Okay.
know, a lot of people are, listen, can we talk about Taylor Swift through the Palestine lens? Is this something you're willing to talk about with me, Yusuf?
Sure, I'll let you lead the way because I don't know where we're going.
Where we're
But
going with this? Okay.
yeah, let's see it.
I, like a lot of people, were very frustrated that she did not use her platform to talk about Gaza.
Hmm.
And I think after watching this 2-hour podcast, I kind of get why she hasn't, is that she just thinks of herself as a normal person. And it's not that she's oblivious to her platform, but her main priority in life is being a normal person and she sees music as her job. And her priority is her family, keeping her family safe. And I don't think and also she, like, how do I say this? I think she pioneers causes that she feels she can have a say in. For example, the music industry, or do you know what I mean? Like things that she can tangibly feel confident in talking about. But I don't think that she's going to say anything because she also doesn't think that anyone wants to hear her opinion on this. Like she thinks, and listen, this is extrapolation. She did not say this on the podcast. It was an interview with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend has a podcast, a football podcast, and she came on it to announce her album. And that's because she has a really complicated relationship with the media, which I won't go into, but I have been a Swiftie for a very, very long time, like a very long time.
Okay.
And I think that she is just like a girl who lives with her boyfriend and makes music as her job and takes care of her family. And I don't think that she's going to be involved in anything politically for her own safety. This is my analysis. And so I think I saw someone post like, oh, Taylor hasn't spoken, so I'm going to be boycotting her upcoming album. And it's like, you know what? I need the new Taylor upcoming album for my mental health to stay strong. It's like a pattern in my life, and I need it to continue fighting for a free Palestine. So I just think we need to give ourselves leeway, and like, that's great that person who's in the movement is boycotting her. That's what feels right to them. It doesn't feel right to me. And like, I'm a person who refuses to engage in Zionist spaces. I've put my body on the line to try and get food, water, and medicine into Gaza. Like, I just want people to know that, like, if they want to listen to something because it makes them feel better, because it helps them in the fight, then they should do that. And I think that, like, we need to take care of our mental health. And I'm taking care of my mental health in a way that is not like enabling this genocide. And what I mean by that is, like, I'm not performing at a space with Zionists because doing comedy would make me feel better about myself. Like, that's an example of a way where I would be doing it wrong, right? I just couldn't do it. So I think we need to, I also think that, like, people in Gaza are waking up and they're going to school and they're living their lives even though they're hungry and they're being bombed. And it's part of like, it's like part of resilience of like showing up and doing and going about life is actually a form of resistance and resilience that that is important. So I'll just say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I tend to agree with that. I think we need more. I think we need more allies on our side. And while I'm all for, like, if someone's not speaking out or someone speaks out the wrong way, boycotting has always been the tactic. Um, but whether or not somebody chooses to, I don't necessarily like think her Taylor Swift's safety would be at risk if she spoke out for
Okay.
Palestine.
I'll tell you why I disagree with that, honestly. She has a lot of like people with machine guns and knives show up to her houses. Yeah. And
Oh,
she had to get an armored car, a bulletproof car. She doesn't go anywhere before her security scouting. She has vials of blood in her car in case there's an emergency and she's on the way to the hospital.
oh my
Y-
God.
Yeah. So I don't think people realize the like, even when Trump said, I hate Taylor Swift, I'm sure she thought, oh, this is a risk to my personal safety. And maybe like we don't see it that way, but I think that she sees it that way.
That's fair. I guess I didn't realize the scope of Taylor Swift's security issues. I thought because she has so much money that she shouldn't be afraid because she has security around her 24/7. But I understand, like, I guess if that's
She does. She has $1 million security team around her 24/7.
yeah.
But
So I guess
even with that, she is still vulnerable.
right, right.
Because there's a
Yeah.
lot of psychos that will show up to her shows and her. I think there was one guy who broke into her house and like slept in her bed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, and
Yeah.
yeah. Another thing we need to keep in mind is that like people like Taylor Swift and Beyonce are part of the US empire. And what I mean by that is they see America as their home. They love it. They don't see anything wrong with it. They're not fighting the empire like we are.
Mhm.
Her whole belief system, her whole life is like, I'm an American. My dad lives in Florida. My mom lives in Tennessee. Do you know what I mean? Like, or my mom lives here. I'm an American citizen. Like, she's very much an American citizen person, woman who loves her country. And I don't think that, I think that if she saw the footage out of Gaza, that like maybe she'd ask herself questions, but I don't think it's on her like radar or that she's seeing it. I think she's
Yeah.
in a bubble and that she genuinely thinks she's doing what she can. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just that like when I watch that episode, I'm like, oh, she's not going to say anything. I don't think any of us should expect her. Not that we shouldn't expect her, but like I wouldn't hold my breath for her to make any announcements about
Mhm.
letting aid in, freeing Palestine, helping Gaza, even though her best friend is Gigi Hadid, who is Palestinian. So I think
That's
she
true.
does get a side of it. I think
Yeah.
she is aware, but I don't think I think she thinks she's a musician and no one wants to hear her talk about Middle Eastern politics.
Which I mean, I don't know if I think a lot of people, like, her voice would go a long way, but I guess it's like, do you know Rosalia? Are you a fan of Rosalia?
Rosalia, the singer?
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't heard any of her music, but she seems cool.
There was
I know she
some,
dated Hunter Schafer from Euphoria.
did she?
Yeah, they were involved. I
Rosalia's
gotta
had a
be
lot of
less
fake
online, I
relationships.
think.
Huh?
I gotta be less online, I think. Forget that. What were you gonna say?
Well, she was in some hot water recently because she was supposed to work with this. I think he was a fashion designer or a photographer, and he said no because and he wrote an email and publicized it and says, "I don't work with anyone who hasn't spoken out publicly about Palestine."
Hmm.
And so that forced Rosalia to make a statement addressing why she hasn't really said anything or posted anything. And it was a fine statement. She did say, obviously, she does support Palestine, and but she kind of made a statement of like, why attack artists? Like, why come after me? Like, shouldn't we be focused on going after the system and not leave artists
But
alone?
unfortunately, celebrities are the only mouthpiece that people will listen to.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I think it's underestimating the impact that her coming out and saying Free Palestine has, and it just
Yeah.
feels a little like, don't come after me. So it was one of those things where my immediate reaction was like, oh man, now I can't go to a Rosalia concert. But I was like, you know what? We need more allies. She said Free
Yes.
Palestine. She's in support. Now that's clear. Maybe it wasn't the greatest statement ever, but at the end of the day, like, we need more. We need to make it. I don't like calling people out when they are trying to come on the right side. I think
I
we need to.
agree with you 100%. I, for one, welcome people who are joining the movement. Yes, it's been 2 years. I say better late than never. And I just want to like encourage people to speak out. I actually I want to thank Lisa. She is a Toronto comic, and she's Jewish, and she posted how what she thought what Israel was doing is wrong, and she shared a lot of photos of like children starving, and I saw a lot of the pushback she got in her community, and I thought she handled it with so much grace. And I used to think that maybe I would resent someone who spoke up so late, but I didn't. I was just so heartened. My heart was open. I thanked her. I sent her a message thanking her. She also did this really cool thing where if someone Jewish wanted to voice their opinions, she could post them on their behalf anonymously through her account, because a lot of Jewish people feel like they're facing backlash. I also had a really hard conversation with two of my Jewish friends who haven't spoken out on their social media, and they broke it down for me. They were like, my family wouldn't talk to me again. They know I'm pro-Palestine, but if I say something, my mom won't talk to me. My dad will cut me off. I won't have a brother. It's like, I think and there are a lot of the Jewish people who are speaking out have lost their family. Like, it is a huge cost. Also, people don't have the healthiest dynamics with their families. And so even if they were to speak out and their family were to cut them off, it wouldn't just be cutting them off. There would be other horrible repercussions that they might not feel strong enough to handle. So they donate, they protest, they do things there in the ways that they feel won't be catastrophic to their lives. And maybe someone's hearing this and they're like, that's bullshit. No. People can only meet us to the extent that they've met themselves. If all they can do right now is donate and not speak up publicly, then you know what? They've joined the fight in their own way. And if you're I think a lot of people don't know how to join the fight. They don't know what to say. And to that, I say, if I can just maybe like give some tips. If you want to speak up about Palestine, you haven't yet, but you feel like you want to. First, I say thank you. Welcome to the movement. You're here now. The second I would say is speak from the heart. You don't need to know all the facts. You just need to know that what you're seeing is wrong. A picture of a starving child is wrong. So speak from the heart. And number 3, I would say center Gaza. That Gaza is the story. Don't center yourself. Don't make a post about how you've waited so long to post. That doesn't matter. What matters is the story. Share what's happening in Gaza. I wouldn't even say, oh, it's taken me 22 months to... No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're here now. And if you need help, please DM me. I'm happy to look over anything you want to post. If you want just someone to listen, if you need help, like I am here, DM me at Nour Hadidi. You can also join the Patreon as a free subscriber, and then you can message me there. And also, side point, I do want to announce that I am going to be, we only have 2 episodes a month. So for those of you who subscribe on Patreon, I'm thinking of ways to connect with you, even though we don't have, I only record 2 episodes a month because of cost considerations. So hopefully once the podcast grows, we'll be able to do more. But I was thinking of writing I'm sorry, it's going to be called a Nour's letter.
I knew that was coming. I just could feel it.
Did
I
you?
could feel
It's going to be called a
yeah.
Nour's letter. So I'm just going to write down my thoughts and what's happened in between episodes. If you want to ask me questions, it could be a Q&A. It could be like anything. But if you have any like things you like, connect with me on my Patreon. It's only $5.99 a month. And if you round down, we don't round up, we round down. You know, like how you go to IKEA and you spend less than 100, you round down to zero. It's the same, okay? You pay $5.99, you round down to zero. You're paying $0, okay? That's all I'm gonna say, Yusuf. All right?
Is this like girl math? Like,
It's just math, okay? How dare you
oh,
gender this math? How
yeah, sorry.
dare you? Wow.
Do you do that thing where like if you return something, you feel like you got money back? Like you feel like you made money?
1000%. If you pay with cash, it's free. There's no
What?
trace. Yes, it's free.
Oh,
It's cash. Yes.
yeah.
Cash is
Yeah.
free. You round down anything less than 100, you round down to zero, okay?
Mhm.
Especially 20. Anything less than 20, it's free. You round down to zero. What other math questions do you have for me?
I mean, I think you covered it. I feel
I
like
covered
money is
it.
just
Yeah.
a state of mind for you.
YouTube Premium pays for itself. It's $17.99. It pays for itself. I will cancel. I think I will cancel like my heating before I cancel YouTube Premium,
I've got a
honestly.
hack it for those on YouTube Premium. If this is maybe
Oh
whatever,
my gosh.
we can cut it out if
Yeah.
not legal. But if you've been to a university or a post secondary school and you still have access to your email, you can get YouTube Premium for like $5 if you
Oh my
sign
God.
up through
I'm
your university email.
finally my McGill experience might pay off.
Yeah, I'm still technically at Laurier while I have my YouTube
Wow, good for
Premium
you.
subscription.
I just want to go on record and say I'm very ashamed of McGill University's actions with how they've treated the encampments, how they've treated
Mm.
students, and how they're ignoring all these calls and votes that pass through to divest from weapons manufacturers.
Mm.
So I don't think I own any McGill sweatshirts or hoodies, but I'm not buying one until they divest from weapons manufacturers, okay? McGill, you
Did
need
part of
this.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want me to wear a McGill t-shirt right now, all right? You want me to think of all the free promo. Think of all the international students who are going to pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars in tuition from the free promo I'm giving you. No, I'm joking, but it's actually disgusting and they should be ashamed of themselves.
I wish I was in university like at this time, like when the encampments were happening. Like I was like, I wish I was in doing my undergrad at this time because this is all I would have been doing. We used to do. I remember we used to do like rallies and marches and stuff, and we did like invisible theater, where like we'd go to the concourse of our university, and I would we built like this like a wall, this like apartheid wall, and I played an IDF soldier, and this other girl played Palestinian, and we did like this thing where we started shouting at each other, and I was trying to like kick her out, and then
Is this
she
like live action kind of?
it's called like invisible theater, so it's basically you perform theater out in a real life setting, and the idea is to get people to kind of like intervene. So you know, it sort of turned into this kind of like shouting match, and then she started going into like the spoken word poetry. It was really cool. But if I was in university at this time, or at least when the encampments were going on, I feel like it would have been so empowering to be a part of those movements. You know, like it's just different
Yes.
now. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I think that maybe I'm like, I just feel like we go through things when we can handle them, or that maybe I don't know. I very much believe in right timing, and that if I was in university, I don't think I would have been able to have the strength that I have now in my 30s. Not that I wouldn't have spoken up, but I just think that like having witnessed the genocide in my early 20s, I think would have like been something that would have really fucked me up and I couldn't recover from, maybe. I don't know. Just
Mm.
believe in the timing and God's
Yeah.
divine, like maybe
Yeah.
it was someone else's journey to be in the encampment, and for yours, it was to use your voice and to maybe make this podcast and for us to meet, you know?
No, totally.
I
I'm
mean, the
I'm not
reason
like
we met was Mo Ahmed, who's a Palestinian comedian. I opened for him and you came to his show, and that's how we met. So maybe that's
that's
like, you
right.
know, yeah.
I had stars in my eyes because I was like, oh my god, it's Nour Hadidi.
Oh, shut
Like,
up.
I
And
swear to
now you're
God.
like, ugh, it's Nour Hadidi calling me because she doesn't know how to find the studio. And now I have to go on Google Earth and try to find
We,
the door for her.
that is what we were doing an hour or two ago. Well, we should acknowledge new studio, new pad,
New
new.
studio, new vibes. We love it here. It's so cool. We can do Zoom interviews so much, like so easily. And they can change the color behind me. It used to be pink, but I had it turn into blue to match what I was wearing. But you know, the world is ours. And look at the quality of the camera. Like, you know,
It's great.
I shouldn't, yeah. Like, I wasn't, like, if you look at the older podcast episodes, the camera quality was, you know, not the best. So don't go back and watch. You've seen what you've seen, okay? It's a new
Or go back and
page.
listen to it.
Go back
Don't
and
watch
listen.
it.
Or you know what?
Just
We could use the YouTube views. So go back, play on YouTube, but don't watch, but listen from YouTube.
just close your eyes while it's playing on
Close
YouTube.
your eyes and listen to me. I'm Noor. I think that should be our new
Hadidi.
Hadidi. That should be our new jingle.
I think we should record a theme song.
How is my energy crazy today? I feel like my energy is a bit crazy today.
I feel like you're great, but I feel like you've had a day because when
I've had a day.
you called me, like
I've had
I
a
thought
week.
you were gonna go home.
I really thought I was going to not find the studio and go home too. That's the kind of, when I showed up here, that's the kind of day I was having.
Yeah, but you're doing great.
How have you coped with the murder of Anas and the 5 Al Jazeera journalists, Yusuf?
I don't know if I have coped. This one hit me very hard for many reasons. I mean, Ennis was, and a couple of the journalists were younger than me. You know,
Yes,
Ennis
Muhammad
was,
Qriqa was one. Yeah.
yes. Ibrahim Zahir was 25.
No. Allah
Yeah.
yarhamu.
Mohammed Nufal was 29. So it was just kind of it hit me twofold because I don't consider myself a journalist because I'm not, but I had the last few years I've been working in investigative journalism, and I've sort of like walked into this community, at least in Canada, and I know how incredible and the risks that these people take, especially these 5 journalists and all the Al Jazeera staff in Gaza. So, you know, I know the risks that you sometimes have to go to reveal the truth and to follow a story. I've never had to take the risk that they have, but it just hit me for that reason. And then seeing how young they were, and the families that they left behind, just the heartbreaking videos with Ennis and his daughter. um, you know I don't know. I was telling you I went to the vigil the other night, and it was outside the Bell Media building, and because
Was the
the new
vigil for Anas?
it was for all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, there was they had blown up these photos and printed them, and of all 5 of them, and there were just candles lit and their names and ages. um, and it was fitting that it was outside like a news building, because the news, especially the Canadian news, has been horrible in terms of, like, when you read an article about their killing, it's always like putting forward Israel's rationale for it, which is that they
Yes.
were Hamas journalists, which is just ridiculous. And I don't know anyone anymore at this stage of the genocide will hear that and believe it. Like,
Hmm.
some of my friends who are not really plugged into what's happening at all, and they heard about it, and I said, yeah, this was Israel's rationale, and they were like, Al Jazeera, like, isn't Al Jazeera is like one of the most credible news organizations. I was like, yeah.
And
So
also, if they knew he was Hamas, they couldn't have just discovered it. They've known for 22 months. So why wait until now to murder them?
mhm.
Because they were
Yeah,
in North Gaza, right? They were in Gaza City where the invasion is about to happen. And they thought the blowback from killing him is going to be better than the blowback from him documenting their upcoming crimes.
yeah. And their whole thing, like their bombing happened outside Al Shifa Hospital in like a media tent, and like their whole thing was like Hamas is hiding in the hospital. Like this wasn't like a secret media room somewhere in the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
which has already been blown to shit. By the way, this was a media tent outside the hospital where they were killed. So like what are you? Do you really think if they were Hamas, they would just be operating outside, like in a tent
It's
openly? Like
almost
it's
like
just silly.
if they call anyone Hamas, it's a reason, it's their justification for killing them,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
That's
Like,
just what it's come to now.
yeah, if you want to kill someone, you just call them Hamas. Apparently, like even in the West, because it seems like that's the get out of jail free card.
Yeah,
Oh, you don't like your neighbor? He's pissing you off? Kill him. Just say he was Hamas. No
yeah,
one's going to ask anything. Everyone's going to believe you. It's so
yeah.
pathetic.
Just the other day, I don't know if you saw like the IDF released a photo looking through like a sniper scope at just like Palestinian people walking. I think they were trying to get aid, and it was just like a sniper scope. Like and even like prior to October 7th, I remember seeing like videos of IDF kicking little kids, and remember all the videos from like the checkpoints and stuff and the horrible things. Like it's just obviously gotten more gruesome, but it's nothing new. It's just amplified. So yeah, I mean, with the journalists, it was very hard. This was devastating, and I think if there's any silver lining, it's that I think people can really see through. It's like when you target journalists,
Yeah.
um, everyone can kind of see what
Yeah.
that says. And
Even
I think that
Christian Amanpour was like, why is no one stopping these journalists from dying? Why is no one rushing in with food to this crisis? And it's like, because it's the plan,
mhm,
Christian. That's what they want.
yeah,
It's the
and that's
policy.
it's not even a secret anymore. Netanyahu has said in recent days and weeks, we are now planning a ground incursion and we are going to take over all of Gaza. And people are still like, why
No,
are
that's
they?
not what he wants. He's just saying
Yeah,
that. It's not going to be permanent.
he just wants to free the hostages. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you? They're telling you what they're planning to do. They're doing it.
Also, I read recently that all the remaining hostages are prisoners of war. These are people who wore IDF suits, who contributed to the military oppression, apartheid, illegal occupation, and siege of Palestinians. And yes, civilians should not be targeted in any way, shape, or form. But I think we need to remember that the Palestinian civilians are, and that the hostages that remain in Gaza from the Israeli side are all IDF soldiers.
Mhm. Yeah, and the Netanyahu and the Israeli government have had ample opportunities to free the hostage. I mean, that's why Israelis are now protesting and trying to oust Netanyahu. Like these are people who were former hostages who are leading the protests against him. I mean, they should be
Yeah.
protesting him for other reasons, but like it's ironic that the people who were released are now calling for him to step down or to be ousted, because it's clear he doesn't
He won't.
care about
No.
freeing hostages. No,
Everything has gone his way except he has not been able to militarily control Gaza because of Hamas. That's the only thing that has not gone his way. And I think I read that Hamas has agreed to disarm and leave Gaza in exchange for Israel leaving and having food come in. Like that's the requirements, and Israel keeps saying no. And also, did you see his speech about the greater Israel? How he feels deeply connected to a greater Israel? He just did that a few days ago in Hebrew. And then And then people in Israel, like media personalities, have started selling necklaces and maps of Greater Israel. And it
Oh my
includes
God.
Jordan. Apparently the Jordan foreign ministry like said it was an attack on their sovereignty. Like, I don't understand why these Arab countries think they're exempt from what's happening. Like, it is coming. And you know what I think about it? If Israel ever attacks Jordan, I think I'd go back home. I think I'd go back home and try to uphold sovereignty and try to protect our lands. I don't know.
Wow.
I wouldn't join the army. I'm not going to kill anyone, but I don't know, volunteer, help. I'll do anything I can to save my country. I really would. Not because I am a nationalist. I don't believe countries should exist, but because of my people and because of like my family and because of, I don't know, just because it's the right thing to do. But that's me just being dramatic, I think. I think maybe women are dramatic and we overthink and we're like, if a war starts, I'm going home. Okay, Yusuf? I'm going home and you can't stop me. How dare you try to stop me, okay?
I think the guys would be like, if a war starts, I'm going to the front lines. Let's go.
Oh my God. Wait, I follow so many accounts. And in Jordan, there's this like convoy that wants to go like okay, it's so great. It's like they're like, we don't acknowledge the Sykes-Picot borders that the European countries like draw. So they're like, we believe in Arab sovereignty. We don't believe in these borders. And there's like talk, like they've posted a military component to this convoy where they want young men from Jordan to militarily join and fight and help people in Gaza.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I read Arabic, so that's like great. I basically understand everything they're saying and writing.
Do you think a lot of people are signing up?
Like, I saw that 13,000 people followed this page. And you also have to remember that 3 out of 4 people in Jordan are Palestinian refugees from 1948 or 67. So I think they are Palestinian and it's their homeland.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I understand.
Sorry, I was just gonna show people what I was gonna tell people what the page was in case they'd like to follow it. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's called Al-Binyan Al-Marsus. Qafilat Al-Binyan Al-Marsus. I mean, if you don't speak Arabic, I wouldn't suggest you follow because you're not going to get it. But if you do, then you gotta check it out. And you know what? A lot of the things that people post on this page, and I'm so sorry I interrupted you, and we are going to come back to you, but I am going on this like tangent thought, is that the things I see on this, it's like so true. It's like people who post are just ordinary people, and they're like, it's wrong what's happening there. I'm a father. My children are safe. Why are their children not safe? Like things like the things they post are so real. It's like we owe it to each other, to our collective humanity, or like the religious aspect of like, we're all going to meet God one day and he's going to ask us what we did to stop this. And what are you going to tell him? Oh, the policeman at the border stopped me. It's like, well, you didn't even try, you know? So I think that's what's like galvanizing people and like pulling on their instincts as human beings to join the movement. And it just drives me mad that like Israel uses its like, oh, we have a peace treaty. We're shown Israel can have peace. Look, we've had a peace treaty with Jordan. We have a peace treaty with Egypt. It's cold peace. There's no warmth. There are people around Israel in the region like, do you think that we like you after seeing you murder children for 2 years? Like, that's the other thing. It's like, yes, we all want peace, but how can we have peace with someone who doesn't even see us as human beings? Like, it's like they're living in a crazy la la land. They've told a lie. They've believed it. They live in that world. And we're the wrong anti-Semitic ones for not going along with this theater play that they've written. You know, it's crazy. It feels crazy.
And it's like what drove me even more nuts was, all of this country statements like Canada said, oh, they will recognize Palestine as a state if they'd have meet all these conditions, and one of them
Yeah,
was getting rid of Hamas. There should be no conditions to recognize Palestine as a state. Period. It
I
should
agree
just
with that.
be
Yeah.
recognition. That's it. To go as far as to say to dictate who um, should be ruling Palestine should be up to the Palestinians.
Yes.
And so it really frustrated me when there was all this news of like finally all these countries, Canada, all these countries, France, UK are recognizing Palestine. But
It's
if you
all
read on,
PR cover. It's all PR cover. It means nothing. It really means nothing because what we need now is to stop the genocide, to stop the bombing, and to feed people. That's what we need. So recognizing a state, like, is that going to feed people? The only two concrete steps I've seen are number one, Germany cutting off arms to Israel, which account for 30% of Israel's weapons purchases. And two is the Norwegian sovereign fund, which is worth $2 trillion, divesting from Israeli companies. Those are the only actual steps I've seen to ending the genocide.
but I don't even trust anything anymore. After that report came out that Canada's exports, do you see that? How
Yes,
they
let's talk
basically
about
lying
that.
to us. They were just like completely lying and said that they had stopped exports, but really they were like there's just like unequivocal proof, like receipts that they had already been. I think that what they said was there was no new exports. Canada had stopped any new exports, but all the previous ones were still going through this whole time.
And apparently they
So
were on like passenger jets, like on commercial
yes,
flights.
yeah, I'll pull
Yeah.
up the like the
Yeah.
actual
Canada
airline.
is not this nice place that we think it is. It is an active member of this genocide. It is providing arms to Israel. It is putting conditions on the recognition of a Palestinian state. It's our Canada was built through genocide and colonialism, and I think that maybe we forget that history sometimes, or we think that because there's truth and reconciliation or acknowledgement that is this a fairyland nice place, but it isn't. It's like just bowing down to the US war machine. Oh, here's another thing I wanted to say is that back in the 50s, there was an attack against an Israeli near Gaza. And there was an IDF spokesperson who just said the truth. Like he said, yes, they're killing us because we're upholding Israel's land, like its borders, and we drove them out of their land. And what else can we expect? And so to me, it's so crazy that that's still the reality, but but I think that the indoctrination and the messaging and the story of the Israeli side has changed. Like they no longer see truth. They see what they want to see. They don't see that what happened in the 50s is the same that's happening now. That like nothing has changed. These are people you've pushed into an enclave. You ethnically cleansed them in 1948. They built lives for themselves. And that's another important thing is that the leaders of Hamas all grew up in refugee camps in Gaza. Like in the slums, in the tents. There's a reason for that. There's a reason that like that's not an anomaly. Like that's a pattern there for a reason. And I think the West has told these lies and just believed them, like even before the UN Security Council recently, there was this group of 5 European countries led by Slovenia who made a press conference and they just said like, we oppose the takeover of Gaza. Yes, they say that it started on October 7 when but Hamas has been defeated and Israel's gone far. And it's like, even that, you've believed the lie. Like it didn't start on October 7. It wasn't because Hamas entered Gaza. It's like, what about since 2006 when Israel has a siege on Gaza. They don't let anything in. They control everything. What about before that? What about, like, it's just, I don't
Yeah.
understand how these European countries decide when history starts. Like, they say the lie and they believe it. And
Hmm.
that's still the main line. Like, I don't know. I would hope not. But I think a lot of people who have joined the Free Palestine movement may believe that narrative of like, oh, yeah, they were just defending themselves, but Israel's gone too far this time. It's like, no, that's not what this
Well,
is.
I do think a lot of people have joined in because it's become a humanitarian, and I don't know why. I don't mean it's not
Yeah.
humanitarian, but it's
No,
only
you're right,
when it
because it's a man-made crisis. It's not a humanitarian crisis like a
right.
tornado. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's only when it becomes considered humanitarian why people get involved, because humanitarianism is technically supposed to be apolitical. So it's like when
Mm.
children are dying or people are starving, then I can join and speak out. It's like and those people may think that everything happened, there was nothing before October 7th, or maybe Israel does have a right to defend itself, but people are starving, so that's more important right now. And
Yeah.
that's
Because you
and
can
going, this kind of
no, go ahead.
loops back to what we were talking about at the beginning, which is like we need more allies, which is great, but also I think while they're here, we should be educating them
Mhm.
as to this, that this didn't just
That's a
happen.
great point. I think that, like, I read this great point by Caitlin Johnson, who's kept me sane this whole time. And she said that, like, celebrities like Madonna or Bono are speaking out and they're sad. And she's like, we don't need your sadness. We need your anger at what's happening. Like, sad implies that there's nothing we can do about it. It sucks. But anger means that there's a system and we can fight it. And I think
Mm.
that's where the disconnect is. It's like a lot of celebrities are speaking up, but they're and I think the starvation has hit a nerve because people like go through so much mental gymnastics to justify the bullets and the bombs with the human shields and the Hamas and then this and then that. But there's something about people starving to death that you just can't propaganda your way out of. Like,
Mm.
okay, one of the reasons people are starving to death is because UNRWA was defunded, right? And UNRWA was defunded because the mainstream media believed the lies that Israel said at face value about it. What other reasons are there? Okay, well, then the Israeli siege. Israel controls everything that enters Gaza. Do you think that's a way to live? Like, do you think that's normal? Like, even before this started, do you think that an occupying power, it's moral for them to control everything that enters? Gaza needed 600 trucks that the international community provided because the situation Israel put them in was unlivable. They can't even right now, they're starving. They're not allowed to fish. They're not allowed to grow their own vegetables, even though they're farmers. Palestinians are known as farmers. Like, it's just, no matter how you rationalize it, and also the New York Times just posted an article saying there's no proof that Hamas steals aid. So this is all 100% on Israel. I don't know who else is to blame for this but Israel. I'd love to know.
Mhm.
Like, what, and it is forced starvation. Ben Gvir, who is a horrible minister in the Israeli cabinet, he is the one who does not want a single breadcrumb to enter Gaza. And he threw a hissy fit, apparently, because of all the pressure Netanyahu's getting to let food in. And he threw a hissy fit and he doesn't want any food or water to enter.
I feel like I agree with you. Like anger is needed right now, and I hear so much like, "What's the point of protesting? What does protesting really do?" And somebody said this, and I really think it's great. It's like it's not always protesting to a certain end. Sometimes it's just protesting against. Like there's a difference between protesting to and protesting against. And yes, maybe going on the street that day may not lead to the end of the genocide, but you are going out there, you being angry, you yelling, you hitting on pans, whatever, that in itself is powerful. It shows that the people in this country are against what the government is doing. Welcome
If
to
you're
your
a
studio.
Swiftie listener of the podcast, DM me. We can talk about the life of a showgirl. I can't wait. I should have put an orange background. Next time we'll do an orange back. You know what? When it comes out October 3rd. Maybe I'll do an orange background for that because the color of the album is orange. Maybe you don't know that.
I
Why
don't
would
know.
you?
Yeah. We'll switch up the color every time. It'll be great.
Yeah. Oh, also, I just want to give a shout out to my neighbor, Ananda. She got me a hat. It said Gutsy on it. It was merch from the Olivia Rodrigo tour or album Guts. But she said she gave it to me because I have IBS. So thank you, Ananda, for my Gutsy hat.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Anyone you want to shout out? Any people who have... I want to shout out... Wait, sorry, interrupt you. I want to shout out all our Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much. We have one is very vocal on Patreon. His name is Ian. I want to thank Ian. And Ian's actually asked for a guest, and she is on the next episode. So I won't say who yet. It'll be a surprise. But if you have any requests for guests, if you want to DM us, if there's a question you have, if there's a topic, please message me on the Patreon. You can join as a free subscriber. And if you like what you see, then maybe you could give us $5.99, which, like I said, is technically $0.99, which then is further rounded down to $0. So join us on the Patreon so we can have 4 episodes a month rather than just 2. We're getting there. So please do that. Also, and now, Yusuf, if you want to shout out anyone.
I think that was great. I think we should end on that note.
I'm excited. Okay. All right. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it here at the Nour Hadidi podcast. And we'll see you next time.